This is the moment everything changes for you. You feel it already. A quiet pressure in your chest, a knowing you never explained. You were never missing anything. You were waiting for permission you no longer need, waiting for the signal that says now. This is that signal. Confidence is not noise. It is presence. It moves before you speak. It shapes how the world responds to you. You have carried it silently. Today, you carry it deliberately. Stand still. Breathe. Notice how you are still here, stronger than every doubt you outgrew. This is not hype. This is recognition. You rise without apology. You lead without force. You decide without fear. Feel the shift. It is subtle. It is permanent. From this moment forward, you do not ask. You arrive. Say it now. I am ready. Let this truth settle deeply and carry you into what comes next. Chapter 1. The energy you carry. Stand still. Feel it. Before you move, before you speak, before the world has a chance to label you, there is something already present. It is quiet. It is steady. It is yours. This is the energy you carry, not something you borrow, not something you perform, something that exists before effort. You have felt it in moments when you entered a space and nothing needed to be said, when eyes turned without demand, when silence did not feel empty but full. That was never coincidence. That was presence. Confidence is not volume. It is not speed. It is not proving. It is certainty without explanation. Most people mistake noise for strength. They push. They announce. They chase approval and call it confidence. But real confidence does not rush. It does not compete. It does not need permission to exist. It stands. You are standing now. There is an energy that moves ahead of you. It introduces you before your words arrive. It shapes how others listen. It sets the tone before you act. That energy begins internally, always internally. Notice your breath. Slow, grounded. This is where confidence lives. In the space where you are settled inside yourself. When you are not leaning forward, not pulling back, not asking the world who you are. You already know. Feel the tension that rises when you consider this truth. The mind wants proof. It wants evidence. It asks, am I enough yet? That question creates strain. That strain pulls energy outward, and outward energy weakens present. Release that question. Confidence is not earned in front of others. It is claimed in private. It is built when no one is watching. It is reinforced when you stop outsourcing your sense of worth. Stand still, feel it. There is a difference between attention and authority. Attention is loud. Authority is calm. Attention asks to be noticed. Authority is noticed without asking. You are learning to carry authority. It begins when you stop shrinking to fit expectations that were never designed for. When you stop adjusting your tone to be accepted. When you allow yourself to take up space internally first. Presence does not demand space. It occupies it naturally. You do not need to change your personality. You do not need to perform confidence. You need to remove the doubt that blocks what is already there. Notice how often you measure yourself against reactions. A nod, a response, a pause. External validation trains you to look outward for confirmation. Internal authority trains you to stay centered regardless of response. This is the separation. This is the shift. Inner tension appears when you begin letting go of approval. That tension is not danger. It is adjustment. Like muscles learning a new position, like balance recalibrating. Stay with it. Breathe through it. Confidence deepens when you stop reacting, when you choose stillness over impulse, when you allow silence to work in your favor. Silence amplifies presence. You do not need to fill every moment. You do not need to explain every thought. The energy you carry grows stronger when you trust it to speak for you. Your presence speaks. Feel how different that is. There is relief here. Relief from effort, relief from comparison, relief from the need to impress. When you stop pushing, you begin to ground. When you ground, others feel it. Not because you changed them, because you stabilized yourself. Confidence is contagious because calm is rare. You are becoming calm. Notice your posture. Notice how your body responds when you stop trying to be seen. Shoulders settle, breath slows, the mind quiets. This is not weakness. This is control. Control of self. From this place, action becomes deliberate. Words become precise. Movement becomes intentional. You no longer scatter energy, you direct it. This is leadership at its root. Leadership does not begin with others. It begins with self-command, the ability to remain steady regardless of environment, the ability to stay anchored when variables change. That ability is growing now. Every time you choose internal alignment over external reaction, confidence compounds. Quietly, consistently, powerfully, you rise without force. Say it internally. I rise, not as a declaration to the world, as a reminder to yourself. There will be moments when doubt tries to return. That is natural. Doubt does not mean absence of confidence. It means you are expanding beyond familiar limits. When that happens, return here. Stand still. Feel it. The energy you carry does not need defending. It needs honoring. It needs consistency. It needs you to stop abandoning it for comfort. Comfort weakens presence. Commitment strengthens it. You are learning to commit to yourself. Notice how this feels less like effort and more like alignment, less like becoming someone else and more like remembering who you are. This is not arrogance. Arrogance compensates, confidence rests. Rest here. Let this awareness settle into your body. Let it become familiar. Let it become your default. From this foundation, everything changes. How you speak, how you decide, how you walk into rooms. The world will not be told. It will be shown. And as you move forward, this energy will deepen. It will be tested. It will be refined. But it will not disappear, because now you know where it lives. Stay with this feeling as we move forward. There is more to uncover, more to strengthen, more to claim. And you are just beginning to feel it. Chapter 2. Identity before action. Before you move, you decide. Before you act, you become. Most people try to change their lives by changing their behavior. They push actions forward without anchoring identity beneath them. That is why momentum fades. That is why discipline collapses. That is why confidence feels temporary. Action without identity does not last. You are not here to borrow motivation. You are here to claim who you are. There is a version of you that has carried you this far. It did its job. It protected you. It kept you safe when certainty was unavailable. But protection is not the same as leadership. Safety is not the same as growth. You feel that tension now, that pull between who you have been and who you know you are becoming. This is not conflict to fear. This is evolution. The old self speaks in habits, in hesitation, in waiting. It asks for reassurance. It delays decisions. It looks outward before moving inward. It means well, but it is no longer in charge. You do not need to fight it. You need to outgrow it. Stand still for a moment and notice something important. You can observe your thoughts. That means they are not you. You can notice your habits. That means they are changeable. You can see your doubts. That means they do not own you. Identity is choice. Decide first, act second. This is where confidence actually begins. Not when results arrive. Not when others approve. But when you make an internal declaration and refuse to negotiate, you decide who you are before the world responds. That decision creates tension. The mind resists because identity shifts require letting go of familiarity. Familiarity feels safe even when it limits you. The old self will ask questions. It will hesitate. It will remind you of past versions. Let it speak. Then choose anyway. You are not abandoning yourself. You are upgrading your standards. Feel the difference between reacting and deciding. Reaction is fast and uncertain. Decision is calm and grounded. Reaction asks, "What should I do?" Decision states, "This is who I am." Say it internally now. I decide who I become. Notice how your body responds. There is gravity in that sentence, a settling, a quiet authority. This is the beginning of internal leadership. When identity leads, action follows naturally. Discipline stops feeling forced. Consistency stops feeling heavy. You no longer rely on motivation because you are aligned with who you say you are. Alignment removes friction. Think about moments when you acted without hesitation, when choice felt obvious. Those moments were not powered by effort. They were powered by identity. You moved because it matched who you believed you were in that moment. You are learning to live there permanently. The old self will test this shift. It will offer familiar patterns. Delay, overthinking, seeking certainty before commitment. That is not failure. That is transition. Do not rush through this. Stay with attention. Confidence deepens when you remain present during identity change, when you do not escape discomfort, when you do not retreat to old habits for relief. Relief comes after commitment. You are becoming the person who wins. Winning does not begin with applause. It begins with private decisions no one else hears. Decisions made in silence. Decisions reinforced by consistency. Every time you choose in alignment with your new identity, the old self loses influence. Not through force, through irrelevance. It fades because it no longer fits. Notice how empowering this is. You are not chasing confidence. You are choosing alignment. Confidence becomes a byproduct, not a goal. This is why external validation no longer controls you. Approval feels pleasant, but it is not required. Disapproval feels uncomfortable, but it is not dangerous. You remain steady. This steadiness creates relief. Relief from inner negotiation. Relief from self-doubt loops. Relief from constantly asking if you are doing enough. You are enough because you decided to lead yourself. Leadership begins internally. When you wake up, identity wakes first. When you face pressure, identity responds first. When uncertainty appears, identity anchors. You no longer ask, "What should I do?" You ask, "Who am I choosing to be?" And the answer guides you. This is not about perfection. This is about direction. Identity does not demand flawless execution. It demands consistency of choice. You will stumble, you will adjust, but you will not retreat, because retreat no longer matches who you are. Feel how this settles into you. Less urgency, more clarity, less noise, more focus. You are not becoming rigid, you are becoming rooted. Rooted people do not panic in the wind. Your decisions now carry weight, not because they are loud, but because they are intentional. You move with purpose. You pause with purpose. Even rest becomes deliberate. This is strength. The old self survives on reaction. The new self operates from command. Command does not shout, it directs. Direct yourself now. Stand tall internally. Feel the line between who you were and who you are becoming. Step across it without drama, without announcement, with certainty. Decide first, act second. Every small action that follows becomes proof. Proof not to the world but to you. And self-proof builds unshakable belief. Belief rooted in identity cannot be taken. Say it again. I decide who I become. Let that sentence echo quietly. Let it replace hesitation. Let it guide your next choice. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where identity shifts occur. In this moment, in this decision. From here, action will feel different. Lighter, cleaner, aligned. And as you continue forward, this identity will be tested, strengthened, refined. You are ready for that. Stay present. Stay committed. The next layer is waiting. Chapter 3, Silence is Power. There is a moment when strength no longer needs sound. You are entering that moment now. Silence is not absence. Silence is control. Still water reflects clearly. Deep roots grow unseen. Locked doors protect what matters. You are learning why the strongest presence in any room is often the quietest one. Most people rush to be heard. They speak to confirm existence. They explain to justify position. They reveal too early and wonder why their power leaks away. That is not confidence. That is exposure without structure. True confidence does not announce itself. It arrives complete. Silence sharpens authority because it removes excess. When you stop filling space with words, your energy fills it instead. People lean in. They sense depth. They feel weight. That weight is gravity. Stand still for a moment and notice how silence feels inside you. At first, there may be discomfort. The mind wants to rush in. It wants to prove. It wants to clarify. That urge is familiar. It belongs to the old self that believed value required explanation. You no longer need that belief. Restraint is not suppression. Restraint is direction. You choose what leaves you. You choose what stays protected. Say less, become more. This is not about withholding truth. It is about honoring timing. Not everyone needs access to your thoughts. Not everyone deserves entry into your plans. Privacy is not weakness. Privacy is strategy. Locked doors create focus. When you speak less, you observe more. You notice patterns. You hear what others miss. You see who fills silence nervously and who can sit comfortably inside it. That information is power. Confidence grows when you are no longer reactive, when words are chosen, not spilled, when emotions are felt, not broadcast. Emotional control is not coldness, it is maturity. Still water runs deep because it is undisturbed. When you allow every comment, every reaction, every opinion to ripple through, clarity disappears. But when you remain still, the surface settles. And in that stillness, you see clearly. There will be moments when silence feels like vulnerability, when not responding feels risky, when holding back feels unnatural. Stay there. That is where growth happens. Silence tests your need for validation. You are learning to pass that test. The old pattern says, respond now or be forgotten. The new standard says, respond when it matters. Timing creates impact. Notice how powerful it feels when you pause before speaking, when you allow a breath to pass, when you let others reveal themselves first. That pause is not empty. It is loaded. Authority lives in that pause. Deep roots do not rush upward. They spread downward first. They anchor. They strengthen. They prepare to support height. If roots were visible, they would look unimpressive, but without them, nothing stands. You are growing roots. This is why silence matters. It allows internal structure to form. It gives you space to align thought, emotion, and intention. When you speak from that place, words land differently. They land because they are supported. Hold your power. Power is not something you display. It is something you contain. It is energy held in reserve, ready when needed. When you give everything away through constant expression, nothing remains. Containment builds intensity. This does not mean becoming distant. It means becoming intentional. Warmth can exist alongside restraint. Presence does not require explanation. You can be open without being exposed. You can be strong without being loud. Stillness invites respect. Watch how people respond when you stop over-explaining, when you stop filling gaps, when you let silence sit. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. That discomfort reveals something important. They are adjusting to your gravity. Gravity does not chase. It pulls. Silence creates pull. You are no longer chasing attention. You are allowing alignment. Those who are meant to understand will feel it. Those who are not will move on. Both outcomes serve you. There is relief in this. Relief from managing perceptions. Relief from constant output. Relief from the pressure to perform confidence instead of embodying it. You are embodying now. Notice how calm returns when you stop explaining yourself. How energy conserves itself. How your presence feels heavier, steadier, more grounded. This is not withdrawal. This is refinement. Every word you do not say becomes space for growth. Every reaction you pause becomes discipline. Every plan you keep protected becomes stronger. Silence sharpens authority because it removes noise. Noise weakens signal. You are becoming signal. There will be moments when others misinterpret your quiet. Let them. You are not here to manage assumptions. You are here to lead yourself. Leadership requires restraint. A leader does not react to every stimulus. A leader chooses responses deliberately. A leader understands that emotional control sets the tone. Set your tone now. Breathe. Ground. Observe. Still water. When emotions rise, you do not suppress them. You acknowledge them internally. You let them pass without action. This is strength. This is command over self. Self-command creates trust. You begin trusting yourself more because you see that you can feel deeply without losing control. You can experience pressure without collapsing. You can sit in silence without shrinking. That trust builds confidence that cannot be shaken. Deep roots. Your plans grow stronger in quiet, without interference, without outside opinions shaping them prematurely. When the time comes to act, action is decisive because it has been prepared. Preparation loves silence. You are not hiding. You are honing. Say less, become more. Feel how this chapter settles into you. There is a slower rhythm now, a steadier pace. You are not rushing to the next step. You are allowing strength to accumulate. Accumulated strength changes everything. When you do speak, words carry weight. When you do act, movement is intentional. When you do decide, decisions are final. That is authority. Locked doors. Not everything needs access. Not everyone needs explanation. Boundaries protect energy. Energy fuels growth. You are learning to protect yours. There is a quiet confidence that grows when you realize you do not need to be understood by everyone. Being understood by yourself is enough. From that understanding, certainty emerges. Certainty does not seek approval. It moves forward calmly. Hold your power. This silence is not an ending. It is preparation. It is the space before momentum, the pause before precision. Stay here a moment longer. Let the stillness settle. Let it strengthen you. Let it teach you restraint without fear, because what comes next will require depth, and depth is built in silence. You are ready for that. Chapter 4: The Discipline of Self-Respect. There comes a point when confidence stops being a feeling and starts being a record of what you do when no one is watching, a record of what you honor when excuses are available. This is where self-respect is built. Self-respect is not self-talk. It is self-follow-through. Every promise you keep to yourself becomes evidence. Evidence that you can be trusted. Evidence that your word has weight. And trust in yourself is the foundation of unshakable belief. Pressure appears here. Pressure to stay comfortable. Pressure to delay. Pressure to choose ease over integrity. You feel it when the alarm rings, when the task feels heavy, when no one would know if you stopped. That pressure is not a signal to quit. It is an invitation to decide. Most people negotiate with themselves in these moments. They bargain, they justify. They lower standards temporarily and promise to return later. Later rarely comes. You are done negotiating. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect in motion. When you commit to something and follow through, something powerful happens internally. Your mind takes note. It learns that your decisions matter, that you do not abandon yourself when discomfort appears. That learning becomes confidence. Resistance will show up. It always does. Resistance is the space between intention and action. It sounds reasonable. It feels logical. It reminds you of fatigue and doubt and past inconsistency. Let it speak. Then move anyway. Do it anyway. This is not force. This is alignment. You are not dragging yourself forward. You are choosing to honor your word. That choice strengthens. Every time you act in alignment with your standards, resistance weakens. Not immediately, not dramatically, quietly. Gradually, it loses influence. And said because it stops working. You are training yourself. Notice the shift when discipline becomes identity instead of effort. When you stop asking if you feel like it and start acting because that is who you are. Feelings become secondary. Commitment becomes primary. This is command. Command over self. Self-command is the highest form of leadership. If you can lead yourself through resistance, you can lead through anything. External chaos loses power when internal order is strong. Internal order is built daily. Small actions, repeated, honored. There is pressure here, but there is also clarity. You know what needs to be done. You are not confused. You are deciding whether to respect yourself enough to do it. That decision shapes identity. Your standards define you. Standards are not wishes. They are boundary. They determine what you allow and what you. When standards are low, confidence fluctuates. When standards are firm, belief stabilizes. Stability creates calm. Calm creates power. Feel how empowerment grows when you follow through. There is relief after action. Relief from mental noise. Relief from self-criticism. Relief from unfinished promises lingering in your mind. Action clears space. Discipline clears doubt. You are not chasing perfection. You are building consistency. Consistency compounds. One promise kept leads to another. One disciplined action makes the next easy. Momentum begins quietly. You may not feel confident. That is not required. Confidence arrives after evidence accumulates. Evidence arrives after action. Action arrives after decision. Decide now. You do not need motivation. You need standards. Motivation fades. Standards remain. Standards hold you steady when emotions fluctuate. This is why discipline builds belief. Belief rooted in evidence cannot be shaken by mood or opinion. You trust yourself because you have proof. Think about the moments you are most certain. They are not moments of comfort. They are moments of follow-through. Moments when you did what you said you would do despite resistance. Those moments built you. You are building more now. Resistance does not mean you are failing. Resistance means you are stepping into a higher standard. Growth always introduces friction. That friction shapes strength. Stay present in it. Breathe. Command yourself forward with calm certainty. Not harshness. Not anger, respect. Self-respect sounds firm, not loud. It does not insult, it directs. Stand up internally. Focus. Move. Each disciplined choice reinforces identity. You begin seeing yourself differently, not as someone who tries, but as someone who follows through. That shift changes how you speak to yourself, how you plan, how you show up. You become reliable. Reliability builds confidence faster than talent. Talent without discipline creates frustration. Discipline without talent creates mastery. Mastery creates quiet dominance. You are choosing mastery. This empowerment is subtle at first. It feels like steadiness, like reduced inner conflict, like fewer debates in your mind. Decisions become simpler because standards decide for you. Simpler decisions create energy. Energy creates momentum. Momentum creates belief. Notice how empowerment replaces pressure when discipline becomes habit. What once felt heavy now feels normal. What once required effort now feels expected. Expected of yourself. Expectation is powerful. You rise to what you expect of yourself. When expectations are vague, effort scatters. When expectations are clear, effort aligns. Clarity is confidence. There will be days when you do not perform perfectly. That does not erase discipline. Discipline is not fragility. It is resilience. You return to standard without drama, without punishment. You adjust. You continue. Self-respect does not demand flawlessness. It demands honesty. Honesty about what you said you would do. Honesty about whether you did it. Honesty about recommitting when you didn't. That honesty builds trust. Trust builds belief. Belief builds confidence that does not collapse under pressure. You are becoming someone who keeps promises, someone who finishes, someone who acts when it matters. That identity settles deep. Say it internally. I am ready. Ready to honor your word. Ready to uphold your standards. Ready to lead yourself without force. There is empowerment in knowing you will not abandon yourself when things get uncomfortable. That knowledge changes how you face challenges. You do not fear effort. You do not fear discipline. You respect it. Respect breeds strength. Strength breeds calm. Calm breeds authority. Authority begins with self-respect. Feel the shift now. Less urgency, more resolve, less noise, more direction. You are not trying to become disciplined. You are choosing to live in alignment. Alignment is powerful. This chapter is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters and honoring it. When you respect your commitments, confidence stops fluctuating. It stabilizes. You stabilize. And from that stability, the next challenge will emerge. A new level of pressure. A new test of identity. You will meet it differently now because you trust yourself. And that trust changes everything. Chapter 5. Standing when no one is watching. There is a version of strength that only exists in silence. Not the silence of peace. The silence of isolation. This is where dominance is born. When no one is watching, there is no applause to chase, no pressure to perform, no audience to impress. There is only you, your standards, and the choice to stand or drift. Most people weaken here. They stay disciplined when eyes are on them. They show focus when recognition is possible. But alone, they soften. They delay. They justify. They wait for a moment that feels better. You are learning to stay. Stay when effort feels invisible. Stay when results feel distant. Stay when quitting would be easy and unnoticed. This is leadership in its rawest form. What you do alone decides who you become publicly, not what you promise, not what you plan, what you execute in isolation. Unseen effort builds visible authority. Delayed gratification is uncomfortable because it asks you to trust a future you cannot yet touch. It asks you to invest energy without immediate reward. That discomfort reveals something important. Whether you lead yourself or abandon yourself, stand still and recognize the moments when no one would know if you stopped. Those moments shape identity more than any public win. They decide whether you are guided by impulse or by principle. Principle outlasts impulse. You are not here for short-term comfort. You are here for long-term command. There is tension in this path, a quiet resistance that whispers, "No one sees this. Does it matter?" That voice belongs to the old self that equated value with visibility. You are evolving beyond that. Value is not determined by witnesses. Value is determined by integrity. Integrity means you do the work even when the reward is delayed, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the process feels lonely. Especially then, this is where self-leadership sharpens. Staying does not mean forcing yourself through exhaustion. It means honoring the commitment you made to your future self. It means remembering why you began when motivation fades. Motivation is emotional. Commitment is structural. Structure holds when emotion fluctuates. You are building structure now. Picture the unseen hours, the early mornings, the late nights, the repetition that feels monotonous. These moments do not feel powerful while you are in them, but they accumulate. They stack quietly, like bricks laid one by one. No single brick looks impressive. Together, they form something unmovable. You are laying bricks. Most people quit because they measure progress too early. They look for proof before enough time has passed. They expect validation before mastery forms. You are learning patience. Patience is strength restrained. Delayed gratification trains emotional control. It teaches you to tolerate discomfort without reacting. It teaches you to hold vision without constant reassurance. That tolerance becomes dominance. Dominance is not aggression. It is steadiness under pressure. When you can stay focused without external reinforcement, you become difficult to disrupt. When praise disappears, you continue. When criticism appears, you remain stable. Stability intimidates chaos. You are becoming stable. Notice how isolation reveals truth. Without noise, distractions fade. Excuses become obvious. You see clearly what matters and what doesn't. This clarity can feel confronting. Stay with it. Clarity refines direction. There will be days when progress feels invisible, days when effort seems to dissolve without return. This is the testing ground, not of skill but of character. Character is what remains when motivation leaves. Finishing does not always mean completing something perfectly. It means completing it honestly. It means seeing something through to its intended end, instead of abandoning it when discomfort rises. Completion builds confidence. Every finished commitment becomes evidence that you do not quit on yourself. That evidence compounds quietly. Over time, it becomes unshakable belief. Belief born in isolation is the strongest kind. Imagine who you become when no one can shake you, when distractions lose power, when validation is optional, when setbacks no longer derail you. That version of you moves differently, speaks less, decides faster, stands firmer. You are moving toward that version now. The path is not glamorous. It is repetitive, it is quiet, it is demanding, but it is honest. Honesty creates strength. This chapter of your life may not be shared. It may not be understood. It may never be applauded. That does not reduce its value. It increases it, because what is built without witnesses cannot be taken by opinion. Notice how much power exists in simply not quitting. How rare it is to continue when no one is watching. That rarity creates advantage. Advantage creates leadership. Leadership is earned privately and recognized publicly. You are earning now. There is a calm that settles when you accept this process. A release from needing immediate results. A steadiness that replaces urgency. You stop rushing the outcome and focus on execution. Execution is your responsibility. Outcome will follow. This calm is not passive. It is focused. It is deliberate. It is resilient. Resilience grows when you endure without resentment, when you commit without complaint, when you finish without recognition. That resilience becomes presence. Presence commands respect without demand. Picture the future moment when others notice the results and assume it happened quickly. They will not see the nights you stayed, the choices you made, the discipline you upheld. That is fine. You know, knowing is enough. Stand alone now so you can stand strong later. There will be moments of doubt, moments when isolation feels heavy, moments when the old self asks why you are doing this at all. Answer calmly, because you decided who you are becoming. That decision carries you through. Finish what you start. Stay when it's hard. Hold your standards when it's quiet. This is the birthplace of dominance. Dominance built without noise. Strength built without spectators. Confidence built without shortcuts. Let this chapter settle into you. Let the solitude sharpen you. Let the delay train you. Because what you are building here will not crack under pressure. And soon, very soon, this quiet strength will be tested. When it is, you will not need to prove anything. You will simply stand. Chapter 6. Emotional control is leadership. Leadership begins in a place no one else can see. Not in words, not in action. In response, every moment presents a choice: react or lead. You have felt the pull of emotion before. The surge, the tightening, the urge to speak, to move, to defend, to explain. Emotion arrives fast, it demands attention, it feels urgent. But urgency is not authority. Authority is calm. Calm is command. Most people believe emotions control them. They believe reactions are automatic. They believe intensity equals truth. That belief keeps them predictable. It keeps them exposed. It keeps them easy to influence. You are learning something different now. You can feel emotion without obeying it. That distinction changes everything. Emotions are signals, not orders. They inform, but they do not decide. When you learn to pause between feeling and action, you create space. In that space, leadership forms. Breathe, decide. Notice how quickly emotion tries to rush you. Anger wants expression. Fear wants escape. Excitement wants impulsive action. These responses are familiar. They are human. They are not weaknesses. But leadership requires choice. You do not suppress emotion. You master it. You allow it to rise, you acknowledge it, and you choose your response deliberately. This is emotional control, not rigidity, not denial. Control. Control creates confidence. When reactions disappear, presence deepens. People feel it immediately. They sense steadiness. They sense clarity. They sense someone who cannot be easily shaken. You are becoming that person. Think about moments when someone else's reaction shifted the entire environment. Tension escalated. Calm dissolved. Control was lost. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine one person remaining steady while chaos swirls. That person leads. Leadership is not loud. It is stabilizing. You lead yourself first. Emotional control begins with awareness. You cannot command what you do not notice. Start noticing the moment emotion appears. The physical signal, the breath change, the tightening, the heat. Pause there. That pause is power. Most people skip it. They move straight to reaction. They justify later. You are choosing differently. You are inserting choice where habit once lived. This takes practice. At first it feels uncomfortable, like holding still while something urges movement. Stay with that discomfort. That is where growth occurs. Breathe, decide. Calm does not mean passive. Calm means centered. From center, action becomes precise. Words become intentional. Decisions become clean. Precision builds authority. Authority builds trust. Trust builds influence. Influence begins internally. There will be moments when emotions feel overwhelming. Pressure rises. Stakes feel high. The urge to react intensifies. This is where leadership is forged. Not when it's easy. When it's charged, stay present. Feel the emotion without becoming it. Let it move through you without directing you. This is not resistance. This is command. Command over self. You are not here to eliminate emotion. You are here to use it wisely. Emotion contains energy. When directed, that energy fuels focus. When uncontrolled, it creates damage. Direction matters. Think of a river. When guided, it generates power. When uncontrolled, it floods. Emotional control channels energy instead of letting it spill. You are learning to channel. Notice how calm returns when you slow your breath. Breath is the fastest way to regain control. It anchors you in the present. It signals safety to your system. Breathe. Feel how clarity begins to replace urgency. Thoughts slow, perspective widens, options appear. This is leadership. You do not need to respond immediately. Silence is available. Pausing is allowed. Choosing timing is strength. Most reactions are attempts to relieve discomfort quickly. Leadership tolerates discomfort for the sake of better outcomes. Better outcomes require patience. Patience is controlled strength. As you practice emotional control, confidence deepens. Not because situations change, but because you change. You trust yourself to handle pressure. You trust yourself to remain composed. That trust is powerful. You begin to feel grounded even when others are unsettled. You stop absorbing emotional noise. You stop mirroring chaos. You remain centered. Center does not move easily. This steadiness becomes noticeable. Others feel calmer around you. Conversations shift. Dynamics change. Not because you demand control, but because you embody it. Calm is command. There will be moments when you feel challenged, provoked, tested. These moments are opportunities to practice leadership in real time. Do not rush them. When emotion spikes, return to basic. Breathe, decide. Short pause, clear choice. This rhythm builds discipline. Discipline builds confidence. Confidence builds authority. Authority is quiet. Now feel the intensity rising. This is where transformation accelerates. Pressure increases. Emotion surges. The moment tightens. Stay. Breathe. Decide. Do not react. Do not explain. Do not rush. Hold center. This is leadership. Feel the strength in restraint. Feel the power in not responding. Feel the clarity in waiting for the right moment. You lead yourself. Rapid thoughts may appear. Let them pass. Urges may rise. Let them settle. You are not suppressing. You are choosing. Choosing is power. This is the transformation peak. Stay present. Breathe. Decide. Again. Breathe. Decide. You feel the shift. Less noise, more clarity, less urgency, more control. This is what others feel around you. This is why presence changes rooms. This is why calm commands respect. Respect follows stability. You are stable. As intensity fades, relief arrives. Relief not from escape, but from mastery. You handled pressure without losing yourself. You stayed aligned. That relief reinforces confidence. Each time you choose calm over reaction, you reinforce identity. You see yourself as someone who leads internally. That self-image strengthens. Identity drives behavior. Behavior builds results. Results reinforce belief. Belief stabilizes confidence. This cycle repeats. You are inside it now. Emotional control is not a destination. It is a practice, a daily commitment to awareness and choice. Some days will feel easier. Some will feel challenging. Consistency matters more than perfection. You will not always respond flawlessly. That is not required. What matters is returning to center, recommitting to calm. Calm is always available. Even now, notice how your body feels. More grounded, more settled. This is your baseline. This is where you operate best. From here, leadership extends outward. Decisions become clearer. Communication improves. Conflict loses power. You do not avoid emotion. You lead through it. This ability separates those who react from those who command. Those who escalate from those who stabilize. Those who are controlled from those who control themselves. You choose control. You lead yourself. Say it internally. You lead yourself. Let that truth settle. Emotional control does not make you distant. It makes you reliable. Others trust consistency. They trust steadiness. They trust those who do not shift wildly with circumstance. You are becoming reliable. Reliability builds authority without effort. As you move forward, situations will test this skill. Unexpected challenges, strong personalities, high-pressure moments. Each test strengthens. Welcome them. They are training. Each time you pause instead of react, you add another layer of confidence, another layer of trust, another layer of leadership. This leadership is internal, but its impact is external. People respond differently to you now. They sense calm. They feel grounded in your presence. They listen differently. You did not demand this. You embodied it. That is power. Hold this state as you continue. Let calm guide decisions. Let breath anchor responses. Let choice replace impulse. Breathe, decide. This rhythm will carry you forward. And as pressure increases in the next phase, you will notice something important. You are no longer easily moved. You are ready for what comes next. Chapter 7. The shift others can feel. Something has changed. You did not announce it. You did not explain it. Yet it is felt. This is how real confidence moves. It radiates quietly like gravity. Unseen, undeniable. It does not ask permission. It does not require agreement. It simply exists and everything around it responds. You are beginning to notice the shift. People listen differently now. Pauses linger when you speak. Responses arrive with more care. No explanation was given. None was needed. Internal certainty alters external reality. This is not magic. This is alignment. When your inner world stabilizes, the outer world adjusts. When you stop leaking doubt, you stop inviting resistance. When you become grounded, others feel grounded around you. They may not know why. They may not name it, but they feel it. This is frequency. Every person operates on an internal frequency shaped by belief, emotion, and self-trust. When your frequency wavers, interactions feel unstable. When your frequency steadies, interactions change. You are steady now. That steadiness creates pressure, not forceful pressure, quiet pressure, the kind that shapes outcomes without effort, like gravity pulling objects into order. Gravity does not convince. It influences. You influence now. Think back to a time when someone entered a room and immediately changed the energy. Not through volume, not through dominance, through presence, through calm certainty that did not need to be proven. That is what you are becoming. Presence precedes reputation. People respond to what they feel before they evaluate what they see. Before credentials, before history, before explanation. They respond to energy. You are carrying a different energy now. It is slower, deeper, more grounded. That depth creates respect without negotiation. Respect does not always arrive loudly. Often it arrives subtly. A pause before disagreement, a shift in tone, a willingness to listen, a recalibration of dynamics. You may notice people mirror your calm. You may notice conversations de-escalate when you remain steady. You may notice fewer challenges, fewer tests, fewer attempts to disrupt your position. This is not coincidence. Internal certainty signals stability. Stability signals leadership. Leadership invites trust. Trust changes behavior. You are witnessing the chain reaction. There is an important distinction here. You are not seeking respect. Seeking weakens presence. You are embodying alignment. Alignment attracts. Attraction does not chase. It draws. Gravity again. When you stopped reacting, people felt safer around you. When you stopped explaining, people listened more closely. When you stopped seeking validation, validation found you. This is the paradox of confidence. The less you reach for it, the more it appears. Notice how freeing this is. You no longer manage impression. You no longer perform certainty. You simply remain consistent. That consistency becomes your signature. Consistency is recognizable. People may begin asking your opinion more often. They may defer without discussion. They may trust your judgment instinctively. This can feel surprising at first. Do not rush to understand it. Allow it. This is the external reflection of internal work. Pressure shifts now. Earlier pressure came from inside. Doubt, hesitation, inner conflict. That pressure has eased. Now pressure appears externally. Expectations rise. Attention increases. Responsibility expands. This is growth. Pressure is not a threat. It is evidence that your presence is registering. The key is how you respond to this new pressure. Return to center. Do not inflate. Do not shrink. Remain. Gravity does not change when objects respond to it. It remains itself. That is your task now, to stay grounded while others adjust. People may test this new version of you. Subtle challenges, slight resistance, unspoken curiosity. This is natural. Systems recalibrate when a variable changes. You are that variable. Hold your frequency. Frequency determines influence. When your internal signal is clear, external noise loses impact. Opinions bounce off. Distractions fade. You are no longer easily pulled out of alignment. Alignment protects energy. Energy shapes outcomes. This is why presence feels powerful. Not because you assert control, but because you are difficult to destabilize. People sense that. They respond accordingly. You may notice fewer emotional reactions from others, less pushback, less chaos. Calm invites calm. Calm commands respect. Respect deepens influence. Influence expands reach. All of this begins internally. You are not forcing this shift. You are allowing it. Allowing the natural consequences of self-leadership to unfold. There is relief here. Relief from trying to prove yourself. Relief from constantly adjusting. Relief from wondering how you are perceived. Perception stabilizes when you stabilize. Notice how your body feels now when you enter a space. Less tension, more ease, less scan. Ning, more presence. You arrive instead of entering. Arrival feels different. Arrival is felt. This does not make you superior. It makes you centered. Centered people do not compete for attention. They attract it naturally. Competition comes from insecurity. Attraction comes from certainty. Certainty is quiet. You are learning to trust the silence around your presence. The pauses, the space, the moments where nothing needs to be filled. That space is communication. People often reveal themselves more around you now. They speak more freely. They disclose without prompting. They sense containment, safety. Containment is leadership. Leadership is not dominance. It is reliability. It is the sense that someone can hold complexity without collapsing. You are holding more now. This chapter of growth may feel subtle. There may be no dramatic moment, no clear line, just a growing awareness that interactions feel different. Honor that awareness. Do not question it. Do not rush it. Let it integrate. Say it internally now. I rise, not as a boast, as a recognition. You rise in presence. You rise in steadiness. You rise in influence. Rising does not mean elevating above others. It means elevating above old patterns, old reactions, old doubts. Those patterns no longer define you. As you rise, some dynamics will change. Some relationships may shift. Some expectations may dissolve. This is not loss. This is alignment. Alignment rearranges surrounding. Trust that process. You are not responsible for managing how others feel about your growth. You are responsible for staying true to it. Stay grounded. Gravity does not apologize for its pull. It simply exists. Your presence now carries weight, not heaviness. Substance, depth. People sense it. They adjust. They respond. This is the shift others can feel. Do not rush to capitalize on it. Let it mature. Let it settle into your nervous system. Let it become normal. Normal confidence is the most powerful kind. Powerful because it is stable. Stable because it is internal. Internal because you built it deliberately. You are beginning to see the ripple effects, and this is only the beginning. As certainty deepens, influence sharpens. As influence sharpens, leadership expands. But expansion brings new challenges. With greater presence comes greater pressure. With greater pressure comes a deeper test of identity. That test is coming. Stay steady. Stay aligned. The next phase will ask more of you, and you will meet it differently now, because you rise. Chapter 8: Pressure Reveals Power. Pressure is not new to you. What is new is how you meet it. There was a time when pressure felt like a warning, a signal to retreat, a sign that you were close to failure. That interpretation shaped your responses. You tightened. You rushed. You tried to escape the weight instead of standing inside it. That version of you is gone. Pressure is no longer a threat. Pressure is information. It tells you where growth is happening. It shows you where strength is being asked to form. Pressure appears only where expansion is possible. Pressure doesn't break you. It defines you. Every level of progress introduces resistance. Every step forward adds weight. That weight is not punishment. It is proof that you are carrying more than before. Most people misread this moment. They feel pressure and assume something is wrong. They assume they moved too fast. They assume they are not ready. You know better now. Pressure means you are exactly where you should be. Feel the weight without labeling it negatively. Feel it without dramatizing. Pressure is neutral until you decide what it means. You decide now. Pressure sharpens focus. It strips away what is unnecessary. It forces clarity. Under pressure, distractions lose appeal. Excuses lose credibility. Only what matters remains. This is refinement. Think of pressure as a forge. Heat and force shape raw material into something stronger. Without pressure, nothing changes. With it, structure forms. You are being shaped. Earlier, you built calm. You built discipline. You built internal leadership. Now those qualities are being tested. Tests are not obstacles. They are confirmations. Pressure reveals power because it exposes what is real. When intensity rises, habits surface. Under stress, truth appears. This is not something to fear. This is something to use. Notice how different you respond now. You do not scatter. You do not panic. You do not look outward for rescue. You ground, you breathe, you choose. That choice is power. Pressure tries to rush you. It creates urgency. It suggests shortcuts. It tempts reaction. You resist that pull not by force but by steadiness. Steadiness under weight is dominance. Dominance is not control over others. It is control over self when conditions are demanding. You are learning to carry weight without collapsing. There will be moments when pressure feels heavy, when responsibility stacks, when expectations rise, when outcomes matter. Do not romanticize these moments. Do not resent them. Meet them honestly. Stand where you are. Pressure exposes weakness, but it also reveals strength you did not know you had. Strength appears only when required. If life never pressed you, you would never know how solid you are. You are discovering that solidity now. The old self avoided pressure. The new self studies it. The old self reacted. The new self responds. The old self saw pressure as danger. The new self sees it as definition. Definition clarifies identity. When pressure rises, ask yourself one question. Not how to escape, not how to reduce it. Ask who you choose to be inside it. That answer determines outcome. Pressure magnifies leadership. When others feel overwhelmed, your calm stands out. When others rush, your steadiness anchors. When others scatter, your focus stabilizes the situation. You are becoming an anchor. Anchors do not eliminate storms. They prevent drift. Pressure will not disappear as you grow. It will increase. That is the price of responsibility. That is the cost of expansion. That is the invitation of leadership. You accept it. Acceptance changes everything. When you stop resisting pressure, energy returns. Resistance drains strength. Acceptance channels it. You stop fighting reality and start working with pressure builds resilience. Resilience is not endurance alone. It is adaptability with integrity. It is the ability to stay aligned under strain, to remain clear when complexity increases. Clarity under pressure is rare. That rarity creates influence. Notice how pressure now activates you instead of paralyzing. Your senses sharpen. Your attention narrows. You move deliberately. This is not stress. This is engagement. Engagement fuels performance. Pressure becomes productive when you stay present, when you break it into moments, one breath, one choice, one action at a time. Do not carry the entire weight at once. Carry what is required now. Now is manageable. This is how pressure is survived and mastered, not by heroics, by presence. Feel intensity rising. Deadlines tighten. Expectations grow. The margin for error narrows. Stay. Breathe. Do not speed up unnecessarily. Speed without clarity creates mistakes. Calm execution under pressure creates results. Results build confidence. Confidence deepens trust. Trust steadies leadership. Pressure is the environment where leadership is recognized, not because you announce it, but because you remain functional when others falter. Functionality under stress is authority. You are becoming authoritative. There will be moments when you want relief, when you want pressure to ease. That desire is human. Acknowledge it without letting it dictate behavior. Relief will come, but first, definition. Pressure defines what you rely on. It exposes whether you trust preparation or hope, whether you trust discipline or impulse, whether you trust yourself or circumstance. You are learning to trust yourself. Trust changes posture. You stand differently under weight now. Shoulders grounded, breath steady, eyes forward. You do not brace in fear, you brace in readiness. Readiness is power. Power is not loud here. It is contained, focused, efficient. Now feel the intensity peak. The demand increases. The moment tightens. The weight presses. This is where many stop. You do not. Keep going. Don't stop. Not recklessly, not blindly, deliberately. Keep going. Don't stop. Stay present. Stay grounded. Stay aligned. Keep going. Don't stop. Each step proves something, not to others, to you. You can handle this. You can think clearly here. You can choose well here. That realization is transformative. Pressure no longer owns you. Keep going. Don't stop. Feel the surge of energy that comes from commitment. When you decide not to quit, strength appears. When quitting is removed as an option, creativity activates. Solutions emerge. This is why pressure reveals power. It forces engagement at a deeper level. It demands more of you and shows you that more exists. You are not depleted. You are activated. Keep going. Don't stop. Notice how focus sharpens. Noise fades. The task simplifies. What once felt overwhelming now feels demanding but manageable. Manageable because you are present. Keep going. Don't stop. This is the transformation peak. This is where identity solidifies, where you realize you are not fragile. You are capable of carrying weight and still moving forward. That knowledge changes how you face future challenges. Future pressure will feel familiar, less threatening, more workable. You will recognize the sensation and respond with calm. Calm is earned here. As intensity begins to ease, relief arrives. Not because pressure disappeared, but because you proved something important. You did not fold. You stayed functional. You stayed aligned. That relief is confidence. Confidence built under pressure is durable. It does not collapse when things get difficult. It was formed there, formed where it matters. Let that relief settle. Let it integrate. This is not exhaustion. This is satisfaction. The satisfaction of meeting demand without losing yourself. You are different now. Pressure did not break you. It clarified you, clarified your capacity, clarified your leadership, clarified your standards. You now know what you can handle, and that knowledge expands your horizon. As you move forward, pressure will continue to appear. New responsibilities, new expectations, new intensity. Each time you will remember this moment. You stood, you stayed, you continued. That memory strengthens. Pressure becomes less personal, less emotional, more practical. Something to work through, not something to fear. Fear drains energy. Engagement builds it. You are engaged. This chapter is not about enduring suffering. It is about recognizing strength under demand. It is about redefining your relationship with intensity. Intensity is not the enemy. Avoidance is. You no longer avoid. You meet. Meeting pressure with presence transforms it into momentum. Momentum carries you forward into greater responsibility, greater influence, greater leadership. Leadership requires weight. You are learning to carry it. As you step into the next phase, understand this clearly. Pressure will increase, not because you are failing, but because you are capable. Capability attracts demand. Demand reveals power. You are powerful. Let that truth settle quietly. Let it anchor you. Let it replace hesitation with readiness. The next level will not be lighter, but you will be stronger, and strength carried calmly changes everything. Chapter 9, Becoming Unmovable. There is a moment when strength stops reacting and starts holding. You are stepping into that moment now. Immovability is not rigidity. It is rooted calm. It is the ability to remain centered while everything else shifts, to stay aligned when pressure pushes, to hold direction when noise rises. When you don't wobble, the world adjusts. Most people live in motion internally. Their thoughts sway with opinion. Their emotions tilt with circumstance. Their decisions bend under pressure. That movement creates instability, and instability invites influence. You are learning to remove that movement, not by hardening, by grounding. Stillness is strength anchored. Think of a mountain. Storms do not change its position. Winds do not negotiate. Weather passes, but the mountain remains. Not because it resists aggressively, but because it is deeply rooted. You are growing roots now. Emotional resilience is built when you stop letting circumstances dictate your internal state, when reactions slow, when responses become deliberate, when your sense of self remains intact regardless of outcome. This is not detachment. This is stability. Notice how often the urge to wobble, a comment, a delay, a shift in plans, a look, a silence. Small things pull most people off center. They adjust themselves constantly, trying to regain balance. You are choosing a different approach. Stand firm. Standing firm does not mean refusing to adapt. It means adapting without losing alignment. It means adjusting strategy without surrendering identity. It means responding without self-betrayal. Immovability begins internally. It starts with deciding that your center does not move for every stimulus, that your emotions are felt but not followed blindly, that your confidence is not conditional. Conditional confidence wobbles, rooted confidence holds. You have already built calm. You have learned restraint. You have carried pressure. Now you are learning to remain unchanged by it. Pressure no longer knocks you sideways. It presses and you stay. Stay with that sensation. Feel the difference between tension and grounding. Tension tightens. Grounding settles. One scatters energy, the other concentrates it. Concentrated energy is power. Power does not chase balance. It creates it. When you become unmovable internally, the external world begins to recalibrate. People sense your steadiness. Situations lose volatility. Chaos finds less to attach to. This is not control over others. This is influence through presence. Presence that does not wobble becomes referent. Others adjust around it. Conversations slow. Decisions stabilize. Energy aligns. You become the constant. This constancy is rare. That rarity creates authority. Authority without effort. Stand firm. Feel how your body responds when you choose firmness over flexibility of identity. Shoulders settle, breath deepens, the mind quiets. This is not bracing, this is anchoring. Anchors do not fight waves. They hold position. You are anchoring. There will be moments when this feels uncomfortable, when staying firm feels like risk, when not reacting feels like vulnerability. That discomfort is part of the transition. Do not confuse discomfort with danger. You are not unsafe. You are unfamiliar. Unfamiliar strength feels strange at first. Old patterns want to return. In patterns of over-explaining, over-adjusting, overthinking. They offer relief through movement. Movement feels like progress even when it is not. Stillness is progress now. Hold the line. Holding the line means maintaining your internal standard when external pressure invites compromise. It means not lowering yourself to meet chaos. It means not inflating yourself to dominate. It means staying aligned. Alignment creates immovability. When you are aligned, decisions feel clear. Boundaries feel natural. You do not need to justify them. You do not need to defend them aggressively. They exist and you honor them. Honor is quiet strength. The world tests immovability. It applies pressure from different angles: emotional pressure, social pressure, time pressure. Each test asks the same question: will you move? Your answer is consistent now. No, not in defiance. In certainty. Certainty does not need reinforcement. It does not argue, it remains. Notice how different this feels from stubbornness. Stubbornness is tense. It resists change blindly. Immovability is calm. It adapts intelligently while protecting core identity. Core identity does not shift. You have spent time building it. Now you live inside it. When something unexpected happens, you pause instead of wobble. When someone challenges, you listen without internal collapse. When outcomes disappoint, you recalibrate without self-doubt. This is emotional resilience. Resilience is not toughness. It is recovery without loss of center. You recover quickly now. You do not spiral. You do not dramatize. You do not abandon yourself in moments of uncertainty. You hold. Stand firm. This firmness creates safety. Safety within yourself. You trust that no matter what happens, you will not fall apart. That trust is deeply empowering. Empowerment removes fear. Fear causes wobble. Without fear, stability becomes natural. You begin to notice that situations which once unsettled you now barely register. Opinions lose weight. Delays lose urgency. Challenges lose intimidation. Not because they disappeared, because you changed. When you don't wobble, the world adjusts. People test boundaries less. They sense that pushing will not move you, not because you are rigid, but because you are grounded. They adjust their behavior accordingly. This is respect. Respect follows consistency. Consistency is built through repetition, through repeatedly choosing center over reaction, through repeatedly holding your line when it would be easier to move. Ease is not the goal. Integrity is. Integrity aligns inner and outer action. When you live in integrity, there is no internal conflict, no debate, no wobble. Conflict creates instability. Alignment creates strength. Notice how quiet your mind becomes when you stop second-guessing yourself. That quiet is not empty. It is clarity. It is the absence of internal resistance. Resistance drains energy. Without it, energy becomes available. Available energy fuels presence. Presence reinforces immovability. This cycle strengthens you. There will be moments when external forces try harder, when pressure intensifies, when stakes increase. This is not a signal to brace harder. It is a signal to root deeper. Rooting deeper means returning to fundamental. Breath, posture, awareness, choice. You have these tools now. Use them. When emotion rises, you ground instead of react. When uncertainty appears, you pause instead of panic. When demands increase, you prioritize instead of scatter. These choices keep you centered. Centered people do not wobble. Hold the line. Holding the line does not mean winning every moment. It means remaining yourself through every moment. It means success does not inflate you and failure does not collapse you. Evenness is power. Power that is even is dependable. Dependability builds leadership. Leadership rooted in immovability is rare. Rare because it requires self-mastery. You are practicing self-mastery now. Notice how your inner dialogue has changed. Less questioning, more deciding, less explaining, more knowing. This internal tone supports stability. Tone matters. A calm internal tone creates calm external behavior. Behavior reinforces identity. Identity stabilizes confidence. Confidence anchors presence. Presence influences reality. This is how immovability works. You do not need to harden your edges. You need to deepen your center. Hard edges crack. Deep centers hold. You are deepening. This depth allows you to absorb impact without breaking, to feel emotion without being controlled by it, to experience pressure without losing direction. Direction remains. Stand firm. There will be moments when standing firm means standing alone, when others shift and you remain, when opinions change and you do not. That solitude is not isolation. It is integrity. Integrity often stands alone at first. Later, others align. When you don't wobble, the world adjusts. Adjustments may take time. Let them. You do not rush stability. Why? Oh, live it. Living it teaches others how to treat you, how to engage with you, how to respond. You are setting a standard without words. Standards communicated through behavior are the strongest kind. Notice how calm confidence grows when you realize you do not need to convince anyone. You do not need to prove firmness. You demonstrate it by not moving. Movement invites debate. Stillness ends it. This stillness is active, alert, aware. It is not passive, it is intentional. Intentional stillness commands respect. You are not freezing. You are holding. Holding space, holding values, holding direction. This holding becomes natural with practice. At first, it required effort. Now it feels like home. Home is where you are grounded. Grounded people do not wobble. Feel the sense of weight beneath your feet. The metaphorical ground. The internal foundation you have built through discipline, silence, pressure, and control. That foundation supports you now. Nothing external needs to change for you to remain steady. That is freedom. Freedom from emotional dependency. Freedom from approval cycles. Freedom from reactive living. Freedom is stability. Stability is leadership. Leadership begins with self. You are leading yourself through complexity without losing shape. That ability will be tested again and again. Each test strengthens. Strength accumulates. Accumulated strength creates presence that cannot be ignored. Not because it demands attention, because it holds. Hold the line. This chapter is about becoming someone who does not sway with every wind. Someone who stands when it matters. Someone who remains when others move. That someone is you. Let this immovability settle into your nervous system. Let it become familiar. Let it replace old patterns of fluctuation. You are not closing yourself off. You are anchoring yourself. Anchored people can reach further without losing balance. Balance is power. As you move forward, you will encounter new environments, new dynamics, new challenges. Each one will test this immovability. You will meet those tests with calm, because you know where your center is. You know how to return to it. Stand firm. Hold the line. This is not the end of growth. It is the stabilization of it. From this place, action becomes precise. Influence becomes effortless. Leadership becomes inevitable. You are steady now. And when you are steady, the world has no choice but to adjust. This is who you are becoming. Chapter 10. Leadership without permission. Leadership is not granted. It is assumed. There is a moment when you realize no one is coming to choose. No signal will arrive. No authority will tap you on the shoulder and say, "Now is your turn." That moment separates those who wait from those who lead. You are done waiting. Leadership without permission begins internally. It begins when you stop asking if you are allowed and start deciding who you are. Titles follow identity. Authority follows alignment. Respect follows consistency. Leaders don't wait to be chosen. They choose themselves. This does not mean forcing dominance. It means refusing hesitation. It means acting from internal command rather than external validation. It means moving forward because it aligns with your standards, not because approval has been secured. You have already built the foundation. Calm, discipline, emotional control, resilience, immovability. These qualities create leadership whether or not it is acknowledged. Acknowledgement comes later. Leadership is visible before it is recognized. Most people misunderstand leadership. They think it begins when others listen. In truth, it begins when you listen to yourself and follow through. when your internal voice becomes consistent, when your actions reflect decisions without delay. Delay weakens authority. Decisiveness strengthens it. Decisiveness does not require certainty about outcome. It requires certainty about value. You may not know exactly how things will unfold, but you know how you will show up. That knowledge anchors action. You lead yourself first. Self-direction is the core of authority. If you cannot direct your own behavior, no title will compensate. If you can direct yourself, titles become optional. Optional, not necessary. You are stepping into that space now. Notice how leadership feels different than before. Less urgency, more clarity, less proving, more presence. You are not trying to stand out. You are standing firm. Standing firm invites alignment. Others sense it. They may not say it yet, but they adjust. They defer. They observe. They begin to trust your steadiness. Trust grows quietly. Leadership grows quietly. There will be moments when you feel the impulse to wait for permission, to ask, to check, to confirm. That impulse is old conditioning. It served a purpose once. It kept you safe. It does not lead. Safety and leadership are not enemies, but they are not the same. Leadership requires initiative. Initiative requires risk. Risk requires trust. You trust yourself now. That trust allows movement. Movement clarifies direction. Direction creates momentum. Momentum reveals leadership. You are no longer waiting for clarity before acting. You act to create clarity. This is a critical shift. Clarity is not always found through thinking. Often it is found through doing. Doing aligned action. Aligned action reinforces identity. Identity strengthens confidence. Confidence stabilizes presence. Presence commands attention. This is the cycle. You are inside it. Leadership without permission also means releasing the need to be understood. Leaders move ahead of consensus. They see before others see. They act before others feel ready. That creates distance. Distance can feel lonely. Do not mistake loneliness for wrongness. Being early often feels like being alone. Hold steady. You are not isolating yourself. You are moving at the pace of your conviction. Others will catch up when results become visible. Results silence doubt. Doubt fades when direction is clear. Clear direction comes from internal alignment. You are aligned. There will be resistance. Not always external, often internal. Thoughts that question timing. Thoughts that suggest waiting. Thoughts that warn against standing out. Listen without obeying. Leadership is not impulsive, but it is decisive. It weighs information, then commits. It does not endlessly reconsider. Endless reconsideration is avoidance disguised as caution. You are done avoiding. Authority comes from self-direction. Self-direction means you decide what matters and you act accordingly. You decide priorities. You decide standard. You decide pace. You do not outsource these decisions. Outsourcing weakens leadership. Ownership strengthens it. Ownership does not require perfection. It requires responsibility. When something works, you own it. When something doesn't, you own that too. Ownership builds credibility. Credibility builds influence. Influence expands leadership. You may notice your language changing. Fewer qualifiers, fewer apologies, more statements, more clarity. This is not arrogant. This is alignment expressed verbally. Words follow identity. When identity shifts, communication shifts. You no longer ask, "Is this okay?" You state, "This is the direction." Direction invites alignment. Some will resist. Let them. Resistance clarifies who is aligned and who is not. Leaders do not need universal agreement. They need integrity. Integrity keeps direction true. True direction attracts the right people. This chapter of your growth is about stepping forward without needing permission slips from the world. You already have permission from yourself. That is enough. Now feel the intensity building. Leadership is being called for. Situations require decision. Others hesitate. The room waits. This is where many shrink. You do not. Stand tall internally. Fast cadence begins now. Decide. Move. Act. No overthinking. No delay. No retreat. Decide. Move. Act. Leadership emerges in motion. You see what needs to be done. Do it. You feel the urge to wait. Release it. You step forward. You speak with clarity. You act with purpose. You hold your ground. This is leadership. Command does not mean control over others. It means control over direction. You set the tone. You set the pace. You set the standard. Set the standard now. Do not lower it to accommodate hesitation. Do not rush it to please impatience. Hold it steady. Others adjust. Fast cadence. Choose. Commit. Execute. Choose. Commit. Execute. This is how leadership feels. Focused, engaged, demanding but clear. You are not guessing anymore. You are deciding. Feel the surge of alignment. When action matches identity, energy increases. You are no longer fighting yourself. You are moving as one. Unity creates power. Power accelerates progress. Progress reinforces leadership. Keep going. Do not look back for approval. Do not slow down to be comfortable. Do not explain more than necessary. Clarity over comfort. Direction over consensus. Presence over performance. You are leading without permission. Others feel it. They may follow. They may observe. They may resist. You continue. Leadership is not dependent on response. It is dependent on consistency. Consistency builds trust over time. Time reveals leaders. This is not a moment. This is a mode of operation. A way of being. You decide who you become. Say it internally now. I decide who I become. That sentence is not motivational. It is operational. It governs your choices. It directs your actions. It anchors your leadership. Every time uncertainty appears, return to it. I decide who I become. That decision removes hesitation. You may still feel doubt. Doubt does not disappear. It loses authority. Authority belongs to you now. As intensity begins to ease, notice the relief that follows decisive action. Relief from indecision. Relief from waiting. Relief from internal debate. Decisions simplify life. Simplification creates focus. Focus improves execution. Execution builds confidence. Confidence stabilizes leadership. This relief is earned. You acted. You did not wait. You did not ask. You moved. That movement changes how you see yourself. You begin identifying as someone who steps forward, someone who takes responsibility, someone who does not wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions are rare. Leaders act in imperfect ones. As you settle into this identity, leadership becomes less dramatic. It becomes normal. You expect yourself to decide. You expect yourself to act. You expect yourself to hold direction. Expectation shapes behavior. Behavior shapes identity. Identity shapes destiny. You are shaping yours now. There will be bigger arenas, greater stakes, more eyes. That comes later. What matters now is internal consistency, that you show up as a leader even when the stage is small. Small stages build big capacity. Capacity expands with use. Use leadership now. Do not wait for scale. Scale comes to leaders who are already leading. Notice how your posture changes when you claim authority internally. Shoulders settle. Breath steadies. Movements become efficient. This physical alignment supports mental clarity. Mind and body align. Alignment amplifies presence. Presence influences outcomes. You are influencing now. This chapter is not about ambition. It is about responsibility. Responsibility for direction. Responsibility for standard. Responsibility for action. Responsibility creates trust. Trust creates leadership. Leadership without permission is quiet at first. It does not announce itself. It demonstrates itself. Demonstration convinces. Conviction carries. Carry it forward. There will be moments when leadership feels heavy. Responsibility always does. That weight is not a sign to stop. It is a sign you are carrying something meaningful. Meaning sustains effort. Effort builds mastery. Mastery earns respect. Respect follows leadership. You are not chasing respect. You are building something worth respecting. That distinction matters. As you continue, remember this clearly. You do not need consensus to lead. You do not need applause to act. You do not need permission to decide. You need alignment. You have it. Let this identity settle fully. Let leadership become how you operate, not something you perform. Let decisions flow naturally from standard. Standards define leaders. You define yours. And as you step into the next phase, leadership will demand more. More clarity, more restraint, more courage. You will meet that demand because you already have. You decide who you become, and you have decided to lead. Chapter 11. The presence that enters first. Before you speak, something arrives. Before you move, something is already felt. This is presence. Presence is not performance. It is embodiment. Your presence speaks before you do. You have built it layer by layer. Calm, discipline, control, resilience, immovability, leadership. Now it moves ahead of you, quietly shaping the environment before a single word leaves your mouth. You are no longer introducing yourself. You are being experienced. Imagine walking into every room already respected, not because of status, not because of reputation, because of the way you carry yourself, because of the stillness you bring, because of the certainty that settles the air. That imagination is becoming reality. Presence is not volume. It does not announce. It does not rush to fill space. It enters first, sets the tone, and waits. Others feel it and adjust without knowing why. This is the power of embodied confidence. Your posture communicates before language does. Shoulders grounded, spine aligned, movements deliberate, nothing hurried, nothing hesitant. Your body signals stability and stability signals leadership. Leadership is felt physically. Energy follows alignment. When your internal state is clear, your external energy becomes coherent. Coherence creates trust. Trust invites respect. This is why presence matters more than words. Words can be ignored. Presence cannot. You may notice now that when you enter a space, conversations shift. Noise lowers slightly. Attention reorganizes, not dramatically, subtly. Subtlety is where power lies. Power that is obvious invites challenge. Power that is quiet invites alignment. You are carrying quiet power. Focus sharpens presence. When your attention is not scattered, others feel anchored around you. Distraction weakens presence. Focus concentrates it. You are focused now. Focused on what matters. Focused on your internal center. Focused on direction rather than reaction. This focus radiates outward. Radiation does not push. It influences. Presence is influence without effort. Think about moments when someone said very little, yet everything they said mattered. Their pauses carried weight. Their silence communicated confidence. Their words landed because presence prepared the ground. You are becoming that person. This did not happen overnight. It happened through repetition, through discipline, through choosing alignment over approval, through holding your ground when it would have been easier to shift. Now presence arrives before speech. When you stand fully. When you sit, you settle. When you listen without distraction. This completeness is felt. Incompleteness is noisy. Completeness is calm. Calm draws attention. Your eyes meet the environment without scanning. Your breath stays steady. You are not hunting for cues. You are not adjusting yourself constantly. You are simply there. Being there is enough. Notice how different this feels from earlier versions. Less internal dialogue, less self-monitoring, less wondering how you are perceived. Perception takes care of itself when alignment is strong. You are aligned. Alignment removes friction. Friction consumes energy. Without it, energy becomes available. That availability is felt as presence. Presence does not need validation. Validation seeks outward confirmation. Presence is self-confirmed. This is why people respond differently to you now. They sense that you are not seeking anything from them. You are not asking for approval. You are not negotiating your position. You are occupying it. Occupation without aggression is authority. Authority without explanation is leadership. You may notice that when you speak now, you speak less. Fewer words, more clarity, less justification, more statement. This is not intentional reduction. It is natural efficiency. Efficiency is respected. People trust those who do not waste energy. Energy conservation is present. Your gestures are smaller now. Your movements are economical. You are not trying to fill space. You are allowing space to exist around you. That space becomes yours. Space signals confidence. When someone is unsure, they shrink or overcompensate. When someone is grounded, they allow space and remain comfortable within it. You are comfortable. Comfort within yourself is magnetic. Imagine walking into a room and feeling no need to adjust, no need to impress, no need to prepare defenses. You are already settled, already present, already centered. That is how presence enters first. Others feel it and orient themselves accordingly. They speak with more intention. They listen with more attention. They mirror your calm. Calm is contagious. You do not force calm. You model it. Modeling teaches more than instruction. This presence is not arrogance. Arrogance seeks elevation. Presence seeks alignment. Arrogance is loud. Presence is grounded. Grounded presence is respected universally. Cultures differ. Languages differ. Presence translates everywhere. Calm confidence is understood without explanation. That is why your presence speaks before you do. You are no longer waiting for the right moment to assert yourself. You assert through being. You do not enter cautiously. You enter consciously. Conscious entry changes dynamics. When you are conscious of your body, your breath, your focus, you carry yourself with intention. Intention shapes energy. Energy shapes response. Response becomes predictable. Predictable does not mean boring. It means reliable. Reliability builds trust. Trust deepens respect. Respect precedes influence. Influence precedes leadership. Leadership begins before words. Notice how your attention is now inwardly anchored. You are aware of yourself without being self-conscious. That distinction matters. Self-consciousness scatters energy. Self-awareness concentrates it. You are aware. Awareness keeps you present. Presence keeps you steady. Steadiness keeps you influential. This chain is working for you now. Imagine walking into every room already respected, already trusted, already regarded as someone who belongs. Someone who is not testing the environment but inhabiting it. Belonging is felt. Belonging comes from internal acceptance. When you accept yourself fully, you no longer ask rooms to accept you. You bring acceptance with you. Rooms respond. You may notice fewer attempts to interrupt you, fewer challenges, more listening. This is not because you became intimidating. It is because you became grounded. Grounded people are difficult to displace. Displacement requires leverage. Presence removes leverage. You are not leaning forward or backward. You are centered. Center is power. Your focus now extends outward without leaving center. You observe without absorbing. You engage without entangling. You listen without losing yourself. This balance is rare. Rare creates value. Value attracts attention. Attention follows presence. Presence enters first. There will be moments when you speak and notice that words land differently. They carry more weight, not because they are louder or smarter, but because they are supported by presence. Support matters. Unsupported words fall flat. Supported words resonate. You are resonating. Resonance is frequency alignment. When your internal frequency is stable, others tune to it subconsciously. This tuning creates rapport without effort. Rapport feels natural now. You do not work to build it, you allow it. Allowing requires confidence. Confidence is embodied now. Your posture reflects it, your stillness reflects it, your timing reflects it. You do not rush to respond. You allow pauses. Pauses are not gaps, they are signals of confidence. People often feel silence when uncomfortable. You allow silence when comfortable. Comfort with silence communicates depth. Depth is felt. Depth invites respect. This respect is not performative. It is not dependent on hierarchy. It exists regardless of role or setting. Presence transcends context. Context changes, presence remains. This is why your confidence feels portable. It is not tied to success or outcome. It is not dependent on mood or validation. It travels with you. You bring it. When you bring presence, you bring leadership. Leadership does not always speak first. Often it listens first. Listening with presence is powerful. It makes others feel seen without you giving anything away. Giving without depletion is mastery. You are mastering energy now. Notice how you no longer feel drained by social environments. Earlier, interaction may have felt taxing. Now it feels neutral or even energizing. That shift comes from not leaking energy. Energy leakage comes from overthinking, overreacting, overadjusting. You have stopped doing that. Your energy stays contained. Containment amplifies presence. Containment does not mean withholding warmth. You can be warm and grounded simultaneously. Warmth without grounding is unstable. Grounding without warmth is distant. You are balanced. Balance is attractive. Attraction is subtle. You may notice that people open up more around you. They sense stability. Stability feels safe. Safety invites honesty. Honesty reveals dynamics. Dynamics become easier to navigate when you are present. Presence sharpens perception. You notice tone changes, body language, subtle cues. This awareness allows you to respond appropriately without effort. Effortless response feels like intuition. Intuition grows with presence. Presence grows with alignment. Alignment grows with self-trust. You trust yourself now. That trust shows. Imagine entering a challenging environment. High stakes, strong personalities, competing agendas. Earlier, this may have triggered tension. Now you enter with calm. Calm does not mean passive. It means prepared. Preparedness is felt. Others sense that you are not easily shaken. They sense that you are not reactive. They sense that you are not desperate for outcome. Desperation weakens. Presence, detachment strengthens it. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means non-attachment to validation. You care about direction, not approval. This distinction liberates you. Liberation creates confidence. Confidence stabilizes presence. Presence enters first. You may still feel emotion. That has not disappeared. What has changed is your relationship to it. Emotion no longer drives posture or behavior. It informs, then passes. This emotional neutrality under pressure enhances presence. Pressure reveals posture. You stand differently now. You do not tense, you ground. That grounding communicates strength. Strength is felt instantly. You do not need to assert dominance. Dominance emerges when others sense stability and align accordingly. Alignment is voluntary. Voluntary alignment is powerful. You are experiencing the effect of internal work becoming external reality. What once required effort now happens naturally. Natural confidence is unmistakable. It does not fluctuate wildly. It does not spike and crash. It remains steady across situations. Steady presence builds reputation quietly. Reputation is the echo of presence over time. You are building that echo now. You may not notice it fully yet. Others do. They carry impressions away. They remember how they felt around you. Feeling matters more than memory of words. Your presence leaves an impression that outlasts conversation. This is leadership at a higher level. Leadership that does not rely on persuasion. Leadership that operates through alignment. Alignment invites trust. Trust invites followership. Followership emerges organically. Organic leadership lasts. You are not chasing influence. You are embodying it. Embodiment removes effort. Effortlessness is deceptive. It hides the work that preceded it. You know the work, the discipline, the restraint, the pressure, the control. Now the work expresses itself as presence. Presence is the reward of alignment. Imagine walking into every room already respected, already steady, already focused, already yourself. That imagination is no longer hypothetical. You are living it. Live it fully. Do not shrink back into old habits. Do not overcompensate when noticed. Stay with what is natural now. Natural presence is your baseline. Baseline confidence does not fluctuate with feedback. It is self-sustained. Sustainability matters. You can maintain this presence without exhaustion because it is not performance. It is being. Being is effortless. Effortlessness is compelling. As you continue forward, environments will vary. Some will challenge presence. Some will reinforce it. In all of them, your task is the same. Remain. Remain present. Remain grounded. Remain aligned. Presence enters first when you do not rush to fill space. When you allow yourself to arrive fully before acting. When you feel your feet metaphorically on the ground. Ground yourself now. Breathe. Notice how calm returns instantly. This is your anchor. You can return to it at any time. Return often. Presence deepens with repetition. Each time you enter a space consciously, you reinforce this identity. Identity solidifies through behavior. Behavior reflects choice. You choose presence. This chapter marks a shift from internal mastery to external impact. Not through force, through embodiment. Embodiment is honest. You cannot fake presence. People sense incongruence. You are congruent now. Congruence is alignment between inner state and outer behavior. That alignment is felt as authenticity. Authenticity builds trust. Trust builds influence. Influence shapes outcomes. You shape outcomes now without needing to control them. Control is heavy. Presence is light. Light presence moves easily. As you prepare to move into the final phase of this journey, understand this clearly. Your presence is now an asset. It will open doors. It will change dynamics. It will attract responsibility. Responsibility will increase. With it comes the final test. The test of permanence. The question is no longer whether you can access confidence. It is whether you can keep it when circumstances change again. That question awaits. For now, stay here. Feel the certainty in your posture. Feel the calm in your breath. Feel the focus in your attention. This is who you are now. Your presence enters first, and the world is already responding. Chapter 12. Confidence that can't be taken. There is a moment when confidence stops being something you access and becomes something you live inside. That moment is now. You are no longer stepping into confidence. You are standing in it. This is not a mood, not momentum, not a peak you hope to revisit. This is permanent. Confidence that can't be taken is not loud. It does not defend itself. It does not rise and fall with outcomes. It is anchored. It exists because you exist as you are now. This is who you are now. You have moved through uncertainty. You have stood in silence. You have carried pressure. You have learned restraint. You have let yourself when no one else could see it. You have chosen identity over impulse. You have stayed when it was easier to leave. That work is finished, not because growth ends, but because the foundation is complete. Confidence no longer depends on the room, the response, the result. It depends on you, and you are solid. Situational confidence reacts. Permanent confidence remains. Situational confidence asks, "Am I okay here?" Permanent confidence states, "I am here." That distinction changes everything. You do not scan for approval. You do not brace for rejection. You do not shrink or inflate. You stand. Standing does not mean rigidity. It means alignment that does not fracture. It means calm that does not crack. It means identity that does not negotiate. Negotiation is over. This is finished. You have crossed the point where confidence could be removed by circumstance. It cannot be taken by loss. It cannot be shaken by success. It does not collapse under pressure or swell under praise. It is even. Evenness is mastery. Mastery is calm under all conditions. Calm is command. You command yourself now without effort. Think back to the beginning. The quiet knowing, the hesitation, the internal debate, the seeking. That version of you is not gone, but it is no longer in control. Control belongs to you. You are no longer proving anything. Proof was internal and you gathered it, promise by promise, choice by choice, moment by moment. You kept showing up. That consistency hardened into certainty. Certainty does not ask permission. This is why confidence now feels quiet. It does not spike. It does not rush. It does not demand expression. It simply exists. Existing confidently is different than performing confidence. Performance requires energy. Existence conserves it. You are no longer leaking power through reaction or doubt. Power is contained. Contained power is undeniable. There will still be challenges. This is not immunity from difficulty. This is immunity from collapse. Difficulty may press against you, but it will not move you, because you are not balanced on circumstance. You are grounded in self. Ground does not move. This is who you are now. Feel the difference in your body. The absence of urgency, the lack of internal noise, the steadiness of breath, the clarity of attention. This is not excitement. This is certainty. Certainty is quiet. Now feel intensity rising again. Not from fear, from recognition. You are standing at the edge of something final. Not the end of growth, the end of doubt having authority, the end of hesitation controlling direction, the end of confidence being conditional. This is finished. Let the words land. This is finished. No more waiting to feel ready. No more searching for confirmation. No more asking who you should be. You know, this is you. Feel the surge now. Vast, clear, direct. Stand, breathe, decide. No second guessing. No retreat. No apology. Stand. This is you. Stand. The identity is set. Stand. The foundation holds. Stand. The work is done. Stand. Confidence is no longer something you turn on. It is what remains when everything else is stripped away, when plans change, when environments shift, when expectations rise. It remains. Remain. Now move. Not hurried. Not hesitant. Move from certainty. Move from alignment. Move from self-command. This is the final transformation piece. Stay with it. Energy rises. Focus sharpens. The moment condenses. Do not step back. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Not because you are chasing something, because you are confirming what is already true. Keep going. No pauses. No negotiations. No exit strategy. Keep going. This is not force. This is inevitability. Keep going. You have outgrown the version of you that questioned your place. You have outgrown the need to explain yourself. You have outgrown emotional volatility controlling your direction. Outgrowing is permanent. Keep going. Let old patterns fall away without ceremony. They do not deserve closure. They served, and now they are irrelevant. Keep going. This is finished. Now feel the release. The intensity eases, not because strength fades, because strength no longer needs effort. Relief arrives. Relief from proving. Relief from bracing. Relief from internal friction. This relief is deep. It settles. Confidence integrates fully. Integration is when something becomes part of you, not something you manage. You are integrated. Confidence now lives in your posture, in your timing, in your silence, in your decisions, in how you move through uncertainty. It lives in how you respond when challenged, and how you remain calm when praised. It lives in your ability to say no without explanation, and yes without hesitation. This is not arrogance. It is completion. Completion of internal leadership. Leadership is no longer something you practice. It is something you express naturally. Your inner world is organized, clear, directed. Disorganization created doubt. Organization creates confidence. So, you are organized now. Thoughts are quieter. Emotions are informative, not directive. Decisions are simpler. Life feels less cluttered internally. Clarity creates space. Space creates calm. Calm sustains confidence. This confidence cannot be taken because it does not rely on conditions. It is not attached to outcomes. It is not dependent on environment. It belongs to you. Belonging is final. Now imagine the future. Not hypothetically. Inevitably, you walk into situations that once would have unsettled you. You feel the difference immediately. There is no spike, no rush, no internal tightening. You remain yourself. Others feel it. They may challenge less. They may listen more. They may adjust without knowing why. You do not analyze this. You accept it. Analysis belongs to uncertainty. Acceptance belongs to certainty. You accept who you are. This acceptance removes friction between who you are and how you act. There is no gap, no performance. Congruence. Congruence is power. You no longer fluctuate wildly. Highs are calmer. Lows are steadier. You recover quickly without losing center. Resilience has matured into stability. Stability into authority. Authority into presence. Presence into leadership. This progression is complete. This is finished. The confidence you carry now will not leave when things go wrong. It will not disappear when plans fail. It will not evaporate when you are misunderstood. Misunderstanding no longer threatens identity. Identity is settled. This is you. Say it internally. This is me. Not as affirmation, as recognition. Recognition ends seeking. Seeking ends instability. Instability ends now. Feel how grounded this is. Not emotional, not dramatic, just solid. Solid confidence does not announce itself. It operates. Now feel the second surge. Final, clean, direct. Stand up internally. Stand, breathe, look forward. There is nothing to prove behind you. There is nothing to fear ahead. Move. This is who you are now. Move. You will still grow. You will still learn. You will still face challenges that require effort, but you will face them from this base. Base confidence. Base confidence does not fluctuate. It is not impressive. It is reliable. Reliability creates long-term success. Long-term success requires identity stability. You are stable. This stability changes how you experience life. Less emotional whiplash, more continuity, less internal drama, more quiet satisfaction. Satisfaction that does not depend on applause. Applause fades. Identity remains. This is why your confidence cannot be taken. It does not belong to circumstances. It belongs to you. Now let everything settle. The urgency dissolves. The intensity softens. The certainty stays. Stay here. Notice how peaceful strength feels. Peaceful does not mean passive. It means resolve. Resolution is power at rest. Power at rest is dangerous in the best way. Not because it threatens, but because it cannot be manipulated. Manipulation requires instability. You are not unstable. You are grounded. From here, leadership expresses itself naturally. You do not need to assert. You do not need to convince. You do not need to rush. Your presence does the work. Your decisions carry weight. Your boundaries hold. Your direction is clear. This clarity makes life simpler. Choices narrow. Distractions lose appeal. You are not tempted by what does not align. Alignment guides you now. Guidance replaces struggle. Struggle fades. Effort becomes focused instead of scattered. This is maturity. Confidence matured into character. Character carries you forward. This chapter is not about motivation. It is about recognition of a completed internal shift. You cross the threshold. There is no return to the old state. You could try, but it would feel wrong, misaligned, incongruent. Once you know what it feels like to be internally led, you cannot unknow it. This is irreversible. This is finished. Now imagine years from now. You face complex situations, high stakes, pressure, responsibility. You will remember this state not consciously but bodily. Your body will respond with calm. Your mind will organize. Your decisions will be clear. This confidence will still be here. That is permanence. Permanent confidence does not guarantee success in every endeavor. It guarantees stability regardless of outcome. Stability is freedom. Freedom from fear-based living. Freedom from approval dependency. Freedom from emotional volatility. Freedom to choose. You have freedom now. Freedom does not feel explosive. It feels steady. Steady freedom. You will notice that you no longer need reminders to be confident. You will not need pep talks. You will not need rituals to access belief. Belief is default. Default settings matter. Your default is calm certainty. This is you. As this journey concludes, there is nothing left to activate, nothing left to unlock, nothing left to seek, only something to live. Live this confidence. Not loudly, not aggressively, not performatively. Live it quietly. Quiet confidence endures. Endurance matters more than intensity. You are enduring now. You are finished becoming confident. Now you are simply confident. This is who you are now. Carry it forward. No announcement, no explanation, no permission, just presence, just certainty, just you. This is finished. This is you. Final conclusion. You didn't become someone new. You returned to who you are. The hesitation is gone. Not forced away, not denied, simply outgrown. In its place stands certainty, quiet, grounded, reliable, the kind of certainty that does not rush, does not shake, does not need to announce itself. You built this, choice by choice, moment by moment. You stayed when it was easier to leave. You decided when it was safer to wait. You led yourself before anyone else could. That leadership is yours now. You feel it in how you stand, in how you breathe, in how you move forward without checking behind you. The noise has softened. The direction has sharpened. What once felt heavy now feels clear. This is fulfillment, not excitement, not relief alone. Fulfillment that comes from alignment, from knowing you are no longer divided against yourself. Your thoughts, actions, and values move together now. You are ready. The future does not intimidate you anymore. It challenges you, and you welcome that challenge with calm strength. You trust yourself to respond, to adjust, to lead through whatever comes. I rise. That is not a statement of superiority. It is a recognition of stability. You rise above old patterns, old doubts, old limits that once defined your edges. Leadership is no longer something you reach for. It is something you live. Daily, quietly, consistently. Others will feel it. Some will follow. Some will learn. You continue regardless. I decide who I become. That decision is no longer dramatic. It is constant. It shows up in your standards, your boundaries, your focus. It shapes a future that reflects who you are now. Walk forward. Carry this confidence into every room, every decision, every challenge. Not to prove, to lead. Choose greatness. This is your life. Live it fully. You made it to the end. That already says something about you. Most people stop early. You stayed. If this audiobook challenged you, if it sharpened your focus, if it reminded you of who you're becoming, then don't let this be a one-time moment. This channel exists for people who choose growth, discipline over comfort, clarity over noise, progress over excuses. If you want more audiobooks like this, more mindset training, more leadership, more inner strength, subscribe, like this video so it reaches the people who need it, and share it with someone who's ready to rise but hasn't found the words yet. Stay consistent. Protect your mind and keep moving forward. This is only the beginning.